the Cottoniana from 995 is a very striking world map. When you see it first, you wouldn't really accept that it is a world map because it is rectangular. It was created in Anglo-Saxon Britain, and that is a couple of decades before the Norman invasion. And it is at a time where the Roman Empire is really struggling. It has no provinces in the West anymore. You have Europe shown as kind of its own thing. It's only connected to Asia via a very small land bridge. And that's because the sea, the Mediterranean Sea and the Black Sea have this very big connection. So it seems really disconnected from the rest. Africa is squished, you really have to say. Everything that the Romans knew, so that's North Africa, is there and it's labeled, whereas everything south of the Sahara is completely gone. It's not even there. And whatever is left is basically squished towards the east. So in this map, that's the top. And it kind of ends with a mountain that is apparently all the time on fire, which is a volcano. And then we're left with Asia. And Asia is basically half the map on the top. And if you sometimes see these round images of the world, kind of from a conceptual point of view, then Asia occupies half, that is the top, and then Europe and Africa have to share the bottom half. And Asia here has basically two sides to it. One is this, we don't know what's out there. You have like a lot of lions, maybe there are griffin people, which is a weird label that appears on this map. Griffin people, never heard of that before. But in any case, you have that, and then you have the biblical stories, and a lot of Asia is dedicated to that, roughly half. You have many names of tribes that appear in the Bible. You have 9 of the Israelite tribes that you see there. At the same time, this map, although it's kind of a mix of biblical and mystery and then a bit of geographic jumble, really wants to be extremely precise. You see the very straight lines that are in Asia and in Europe and in Africa. And these straight lines basically tell you where an area starts and where it ends. This is something that many maps don't really do. You just see, for example, Mesopotamia, and then you assume, okay, it's maybe between this river and that. But this map is very precise with these lines, which is kind of a waste because geographically speaking, this map is completely incorrect. I mean, there's no way that you tell me that this line is exactly at this point. There's one feature of this map which I find really interesting, which is sort of correct, which is the placement of Troy. And Troy is placed right at the Bosphorus, at the Turkish mainland. And where it is placed, I mean, this is where it was founded at modern times, but back in the day, they couldn't have known that. They just placed it there based on what they assumed where it would be. So that was kind of a nice detail. Otherwise, this map, as I said, is kind of caught between being mysterious and biblical and vague, but then also being extremely precise. It is visually very striking because it has a lot of colors. It has green mountains, it has red rivers, it has these castles, it has a lion. So it is very rich, and it is kind of, you want to see what's there, right? You look at it from afar and you want to know what's in the detail, and then you kind of start piecing together all the little details. So it's really an interesting map. Anyway, we are at the end of our tour. This map has a lot more to say than what we went through, but I think we went through some of the main features. As always, you can find the link to the finished map in the description down below. I'll see you in the next drawing session. Ciao.